another episode of James Montreal Beer Review. Dennis LD here. This is episode 16. As I promised, and I was hoping this would come true, and it actually seems like I'm going to keep to my words, make it that way. All the even numbers are going to be my reviews of American craft beers, and this one's going to be no exception. So today we're doing Left Hand Brewing Company's Imperial Stout, and it's a 12 ounce bottle, brown glass and everything. It's actually 10.4% ABV, quite a bit of a monster. Doesn't really state the ABV though, as with some American beers, for some reason, I don't know. Guess they don't consider that important enough. But I was able to find information on the internet. It's a Russian Imperial Stout, and we'll talk about the style in a moment. I actually talked about the style back when I reviewed Dirty Ciel Special Montreal. So before I do that, actually, I picked this up in New York City when I went there 2 months ago, and Barry from Barry's Beer Reviews actually recommended I try this one. Caught my eye as well. It's a nice logo. It's got some sort of a dragon or snake. Yeah, it's actually a dragon, green dragon, wrapped up in the logo. And the brewery's logo is actually the left hand, just very logical. Which brings me to an interesting question I want to ask, well, maybe it's just interesting for me really, but I've noticed quite a few beer reviewers, when they pour the beer in the review, they hold the beer with the left hand and they pour it into the glass which they hold with the right hand. I usually do the other way around. Now I'm wondering if that's if that's because they're lefties, or maybe they just like to pour that way. So if you're a beer reviewer and you're watching this, just comment below. Just say if you're a right-handed person or left-handed person. I'm a righty myself. I'm just curious to ask. Maybe some people just like pouring that way. Sometimes I pour it. My left hand just really maybe don't notice that all that much. But anyways, the style, Russian Imperial Stouts are stouts essentially. So dark, pretty medium to full-bodied beers, brewed with roasted malts. Russian Imperial Stouts are usually high in hops, especially with contemporary examples of the style. The name Imperial in Russian actually comes from the fact that back in the 18th century and maybe 19th century as well, the Russian Imperial Court would order these beers to be shipped all the way from the UK, from England, from Britain, and because it was actually a favourite in the court. All the including the Empress Catherine the Great and people in the court, they actually liked these beers quite a lot. But because of the quite lengthy, journeys were quite lengthy, they had to brew these beers in a way that they would sustain, the shipping and won't be spoiled. So these beers are high on alcohol, more malts and probably more hops as well. They're richer, more chocolatey and coffee notes, as well as very interesting, sometimes creamy, smooth mouthfeel you get. Yes, of course, they're quite potent, anywhere from 7 to about 11% in alcohol. This one's 10.4, so it's a little bit above the average. I think the average for Imperial Stout is about 9%. So yeah, I tend to like these beers. Haven't had that many, but I had a few now, and interesting to see this one. So let's review it now. There's not much to read in the labels actually, but it says Left Hand Brewing Company takes pride in handcrafting premium beers of great distinction, and it's brewed on the banks of the mighty Saint Vrain. I guess that's the name of the river. And Left Hand Brewing Company is actually out of Longmont, Colorado, and it's my first Colorado beer. Essentially, I've never had anything from there. Many Colorado beers are actually not that well distributed to the east coast of the US, I guess. So I'd like to have this one. So I'm going to be using my snifter. It's one of the only appropriate ways apparently to serve imperial beers like this. And the cap is kind of interesting. The shape is a bit unusual. It's a bit rounded off at the edges. Smoking up, and a very interesting smell already. My snifter is kind of small, so I'm not going to be able to fit the whole thing here. which only probably is going to extend the pleasure. Nice, pretty opaque, dark brown colour with a nice ruby glow. I can see when I hold it to the light, I can see it's a little bit towards the bottom of the glass. Nice light brown head. Not much of a head in a snifter usually, but still, you know, I could, you know, if I pull it out into a wider kind of glass, probably give it more head. Smells like a good imperial stout to me. Loads of roastiness, that espresso bean kind of thing, as well as milk chocolate. I think it's more milk chocolate than dark chocolate. Pretty good hop presence as well. Nice floral notes, some dark fruit notes, of course some grain, caramel and toffee, things like that. Very very appealing and very appropriate so far. Let's give it a try now. Some pretty nice carbonation at first. The alcohol is pretty well masked, but then actually at the back, when you swallow it, you kind of start feeling it. Full flavour, full body to it. Tons, really loads of roastiness, chocolate and coffee. Also tasting like prunes and figs. Actually, the finish is very coffee-like. When you take, you know, when you drink a fresh espresso or whatever, you know, I'm not really, my knowledge of coffee is not that great, but yeah, it does, you know, it's fairly bitter at the back, and it kind of lingers on a coffee sensation to it. Really lacing actually. Good. I'll get back to you in a moment, but so far very intense coffee taste to it. Probably even more intense than it was in the Pêche Motel. Some nice chocolate to back it up. Sweet, but I guess, you know, it doesn't quite hit the limit of being too sweet. Some nice hops as well, but definitely a sipper, winter warmer kind of beer. And it's snowing. It's been snowing all day today. I've got about 25 centimeters of snow. It's not going to stop for a while, so it's a perfect occasion for a beer like that. Right, so it's a very good imperial stout. The head's almost gone, but nevertheless, as it warms up, you get a nice port wine quality to it. You get some nice dark fruit notes as well, cherry, prunes, a bit of dates, and maybe figs. Really good example of the style. Can't find anything wrong with it. It's a bit boozy, but you know what? It's only, I mean, it's fine for imperial Russian stouts. As far as fruit pairings, I've never actually gone into fruit pairings, but this time I found some white chocolate left over and decided to give it a try. Take a little bite, and some nice creamy vanilla feel you get, and then you take a sip. Really pairs well with the kind of the white chocolate, softens out the bitterness and the dryness builds up in the beer, and it becomes even more like velvety smooth. So I think it's a great combination. If you have vanilla ice cream, it's going to be even better. But you know, that's all I have really. So really recommend this beer actually, and trust me, don't be shy, don't be scared of trying these stronger beers. Just buy a bottle and see how that goes. Sometimes these beers become your favorite style without you expecting that, I guess. In terms of grade, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. It's a very, very good beer. Not the best I've had so far, but you know, it's one of the it's close there. So yeah, that's all I have to say really for this time, and see you guys later. Stick to good beer. Cheers.